guys, it's Tiffany here.
I'm Rick the Barber. How you doing?
We're bringing you Gripping Conversations, the first radio, television, and internet talk show.
This is totally interactive, so you guys can be a part of every aspect of this show. You know, Tiffany, I'm asked this question, what exactly is Gripping Conversations?
Oh, you know, Rick, that is a really good question that we do get asked all the time. Well, Gripping Conversations is a radio, television, and internet talk show, all in one.
Right.
It's viewer interactive, and which means that the viewers are the actual producers of the show. The main point of Gripping Conversations is to talk about the things mainstream media isn't talking about. So it's kind of like being in a barbershop or a salon,
Right.
and you're watching the television screen, and you know there's something on the news, and you say, but they're not talking about this, and they're not talking about those things, and why don't they say that? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about.
So you suggest that the viewers is what separates us. The interaction with our viewers is what's going to separate us from other media outlets.
It's all about the viewers.
Okay, and I mean, when we also need to focus in on some form of philanthropy, some form of giving back to our community. And I know we have set up this the Each One movement. How exactly are we going to be able to incorporate that movement that we've created to, let's say, other organizations that are doing good?
Well, you know, I think everyone has a responsibility in this world to give back and to serve their communities. So the Each One movement is will partner with other nonprofit organizations so that we can showcase them.
Okay.
And during every episode of Gripping Conversations, we'll talk about a particular charity
Right.
where people can just be aware of how they can give back to their communities, whether it's through monetary donations, or even if they don't have that, they can give prayers, they can give clothing or blankets or something. But the Each One movement is all about showing everyday people how they can give back within their own means.
So it's sort of a funnel that we're creating where people's wishes and wants of giving back could meet with us, and we could divert them into the right.
We show them how to do it. They don't know how, we're going to show them how.
Excellent. I like that idea.
Okay guys, today we're talking about all the single ladies. The curse of the independent woman. So let me start with you. What's your definition of an independent woman?
Well, I think an independent woman would be someone who can take care of themselves, who likes to advance themselves, whether professionally or in their social life, and just get ahead of people.
Could it be getting ahead of her man?
Yeah, possibly.
Okay, I'll take that. And you?
It's hard for me. I've never really thought about that question.
Independent woman?
Yeah, an independent woman, because you always hear everybody's like, you know, women are becoming more independent, becoming more on their own. They don't have to so much, you know, depend on somebody else, of course.
Right.
Independence. So, someone who's strong, sophisticated, definitely sure of herself.
When you hear about a single lady, do you think she's lonely, single and lonely?
I would say that there's definitely a stereotype in some people's minds about that. You know, yes, sure, she's successful and she's, you know, doing what she wants to do.
But she doesn't have a man.
On the other end, you know, she might still have, you know, might still be lonely.
Right.
But not.
What do you think about an independent man when you hear that term?
When I hear that term, honestly, first thing that comes to mind is somebody who doesn't need anybody to support themselves. They're on their own, they can run it, they don't need anybody's help, they're independent, they don't need family, you, a man, if you guys are going with that.
Yeah.
So,
Is it about money, primarily?
I wouldn't say primarily, it could be about money.
Yeah.
You know, I know that it can be an issue about, you know, being dependent on a man for their,
Right.
you know, financial support, but it doesn't need to always be about money.
Right. So you'd say that being independent would be either an economical independence or a financial independence or an emotional independence. Because a lot of women are independent emotionally, where they feel that they don't need a man.
Right.
But we've learned that that can be false because everyone's looking for affection. Isn't that correct?
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's be real for a minute. There's more single ladies than single men. So do you guys have like this pick and it's like this one big party and you got all these women and you can choose and go from one to another? Do you have that mindset?
Depends on where you're at.
Thank you for your honesty.
I mean, you could go into it thinking that way if that's how you want to look at it. Yeah, if you want to be optimistic and thinking that you got a wide variety to choose from. But I mean, it really depends. If you're that independent man, you could not see things that way.
Right.
So.
Right.
Would you marry or have a long-term relationship with a woman who made more money than you, who had a better career than you? And if so, how would you feel about that? Would you still feel like you were the head of the household?
If I'm secure with myself, yeah. I mean, of course, she's gonna be independent to a certain extent. You know, if she's I'm not gonna say she's the head of the household if she's.
So you
got the
believe
better
in
career.
submission then?
I don't see it as submitting as a thing. I feel as, you know, we're equals.
Coexisting.
We're coexisting. We're equal, but at the same time, you know, there's room for that.
Do you think a woman should be submissive?
There's submission on both ends. So that's part of, you know, working together is that,
agree
you
with
know,
that.
you know, as a wife, you know, you'd be submissive towards your husband, but as a husband, you're also submissive towards your wife.
So I'm really interested in knowing, on a point basis, would you rather get with an independent woman or a dependent woman? I have one question for you, and it has probably two parts to it.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask both of them and allow you to answer.
All right.
Okay, I would like to know your definition of an independent woman.
All right.
And I would also like to know, is it tied in economically independence or emotional independence?
Okay.
What would you think?
Okay, for me, independence falls in the areas of being financially, emotionally, spiritually independent. For me, in my life, I rely on God to get me through the things that I need to do in life. I don't rely on anyone else but Him. And we all want a happy life. We want to be in a relationship. But for me right now, that's not where I'm at. My relationship is with Him. And He has allowed me to have a great job, to be able to go back to college and get my master's degree. I take care of home. And for now, He sustains everything that I need. And for me, that's independence. And I'm thankful for that. I'm happy with where I am right now. I would like to meet somebody. That's okay. And life is good.
Now, in meeting somebody,
Yes.
would you mind if you met a man that was making less money?
Not a problem.
Not a problem.
Not a problem for me.
Okay.
He was riding the bus every day.
Not a problem for me, as long as he was hardworking, ambitious, driven. He might be in a low point, but when you're in a low point, that's preparing you for a high point.
Right.
So for me, if he was riding the bus, okay, that's fine.
Okay.
I got a car. Everything is possible as long as you believe.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And what would you say to the men who believe single women are just sitting at home lonely,
It's not
desperate,
true. It's not true.
and their standards are too high?
It's not true. I mean, you got to think outside the box. I mean, you can sit around all day and say, "Oh, woe's me, I have no one." But it's a big world out here. There's so many openings and so many other opportunities. You have to go out and find it. You can sit around and say, "Oh, I can't do this," or "Oh, somebody's keeping me down." The only person that's keeping you down is yourself. It's your thinking. It's the limited thinking.